Hello, stay until the end of the video to see how you can enter a 5-winner Colossal Serum giveaway as well as some other prizes too. I've been wanting to make a video about builds in Update 4 for quite a while now. However, I noticed that the developers plan on doing a lot of Update 4 post patches. Some stuff has been nerfed, some stuff has been buffed, and so I wanted to wait until things were more set in stone before I fully committed to making a video. But I think we're at a point where nothing major is going to change too much. Maybe some more buffs to Shifter, hopefully. But as many people know, Shifter got nerfed pretty hard during this update. It's believed that Colossal may be the best serum right now. I haven't gotten to try much Colossal builds, and I'm still trying to get my mastery up for him. So for right now, I'm going to be talking about some Shifter builds. And the first one we're going to be looking at is a Leonhart build. And as for the skill tree, I would recommend going left for skill cooldown reduction, left for damage, and left again for tank. Before, I used to recommend crit and health. However, due to the Titan shifting nerf, your health is overall worse, so just taking less damage is going to be better for you overall. And as for the damage, I don't really know or understand what they exactly changed here. Crit used to be far better, but now it seems like just being able to stack your damage ends up netting much better results. If anyone knows the science or the mechanics behind this, feel free to comment and let me know. And as for the memories, I went with Gambler, Apotheosis, Fury Forge, Quake Strike, and Tactician. Now, a lot of people have been speculating whether Storm Charged or Tactician is better, and overall, I would say it depends. I'm somebody who likes to grind solo 99.9% of the time. Maybe if you have a lot of friends who are also running shifting, or maybe you're just playing in a bunch of raids like I do, where there's a bunch of shifters, then there is an argument to be made that Storm Charged is actually a solid memory, but I'm going with Tactician just because I like to grind this game solo. And as for the artifacts, you're going to want Female Scars with perfect shifter damage, as well as Crystal Necklace with perfect shifter damage. And as for the Titan skills, I recommend everything except Eject. Everything else is going to be helpful, and I'll even talk about why Grapple is even better now. They didn't buff it, but I'll get into that in just a second. And as for the Mimicry, before I used to recommend the Armored Mimicry during Leonhart builds, but now I would recommend the Attack Mimicry even on Leonhart, just because they did buff her hardening, so now it stays active. One of the best parts about the Armored Mimicry was it gave you more damage reduction and also kept your hardening up for longer. But honestly, I don't think you really need it as much. Maybe if you're still really struggling with your health, then maybe I'd recommend it just for the damage reduction. But I overall think that the Attack Titan Mimicry is just better. And I will also be going over a build with the Colossal Titan Mimicry, so stay tuned for that. And as for the human skills, I would recommend double stacking the flares, because I do believe that the stack doesn't really matter, just because Order Rage, I've heard it doesn't transfer over to Titan Shifting. You need somebody else to give you Order Rage while you're in Titan Shifting in order for it to transfer over. And the rest don't really matter. Obviously, you want to apply Titan Shifting, but these two can really be whatever you want. I personally recommend Flashbang and Dual Shot, just so you can gather up a crowd and then have an easier time eliminating them, which will help get your Awakening bar up much faster. And now, I want to talk about modifiers for just a second. They recently nerfed Time Trial into the ground on most raids. They nerfed Time Trial into the ground, specifically on the female raid. So honestly, I don't even know if I really recommend this one anymore. If you can, then definitely do it, but it is a lot harder to get into Time Trial. But I want to talk about Oddball for a second. I've been having some debates with myself as well as some other people about whether Oddball is ever worth it in any raid. Because if you think about it, you can do more raids faster, giving you more results, rather with Oddball having an only 12% luck increase and it takes slightly longer. So honestly, I don't know if Oddball is just like ever worth it. So we're not going to be running Oddball during these raids or Time Trial. If you can consistently, get good time with Oddball, definitely go for it. But with shifting, since it got nerfed, I can't really get Oddball. And this more applies towards raids rather than missions. So during missions like Anti-Guard, Shingon Shina, defense, guard defense, anything like that, Oddball is still going to be really good. And so now let's get in and talk a little bit more about the build. Alright, and here we are on the female raid. I decided to change it to the female raid instead of the attack raid, just because I feel like the attack raid is a little more inconsistent with times and damage and such, just due to Titan spawns, as well as that weird animation cutscene skip that you sometimes get, where the Berserk just kind of doesn't get an animation, where he doesn't scream, he just kind of randomly transforms into it. So I feel like the female raid is just kind of the best raid to showcase damage builds on. But while I'm kind of showcasing the build, I do want to give a huge shout out to Kimbo. I'll put their YouTube page on screen as well as linked in the description. I want to say a huge shout out to them for helping me figure out an update for female Titan build. I've been struggling for a while and they really came in clutch. But anyway, as I was talking about in the intro to this video, the reason why grapple is much better than eject is because of the glowing Titans now have iframes whenever they scream, so you can no longer just punch them out of it. You now need to use the grapple to cancel their iframes, and it makes dealing with them so much easier, and it's not as much of a headache as it used to be. It is very weird seeing how quickly Black Flash stopped being meta. I don't know if it's actually used in any builds anymore. If you use Black Flash in any of your builds, feel free to let me know. Seems like Eviscerate just kind of took its spot. Did they like break or nerf Black Flash that badly? I really have no idea what caused this Black Flash drought. I used to even be recommending it to people in my streams. I used to tell people it was a great perk even during update 4, but now I just don't see anybody using Black Flash, and it's weird. It's strange, because I need to find an Ackerman build, because that does give an extra offense slot. So I wonder if people put Black Flash in that as well, or just literally anything else. But anyway, that's it for this raid. Let's see what we got for our time. 232 is not bad. That is still very off from time trial, but this is with Leonhart with oddball off. So unfortunately, Leonhart, again, as I mentioned, did just take a hit. Anyway, let me go back to menu and talk about Yeager really quick. I've honestly tried experimenting with Yeager builds for a while, and honestly, I just don't think it's that good. The only time I would recommend using a Yeager build is if you obviously don't have Fritz and your Leonhart build just isn't working and you need that extra support. If you keep finding yourself getting kicked out of Titan form very often with Leonhart, I would maybe recommend the Armored Mimicry. I think I talked about this a little bit before, but basically just Armored Mimicry or take Adaptation off and just keep Immortal. It's going to be a lot harder, but if it's what helps you stay in your Titan Shift form for longer and you just need to grind raids for some better perks or anything, then that's something that I might recommend as well. Feel free to play around with it, but either the Armored Mimicry or just sticking to Immortal is going to be your best bet for keeping up a Leonhart build. So normally I showcase a Yeager build, but I think I'm just going to skip straight to the Fritz build. And now for the Fritz build. It is a very interesting build to say the least. So let's start off with the perks first. So for your offense, you want Art of War. For your body slot, you want to have Eviscerate, Font of Inspiration for your support as well as Peerless Commander, and you only want to have Adaptation on. And now I did get this build from Kimbo. Yet again, an insane build. The reason that they recommended to not have Immortal on is for the Fury Forge memory. Apparently, you do want to take more damage so that you do more damage. Kind of like an investment thing. You gotta spend money to make money, and in this case, you gotta spend health to make more damage. But the memories are basically the same. For this raid, it doesn't really matter. Usually I would recommend Quake Strike over Flash Step, but, you know, since we're doing the female raid, it doesn't matter. But if you're doing literally anything else, Colossal, Attack, Armored, Anti-Guard, whatever else you're doing, I would recommend Quake Strike here. Or if you don't have Apotheosis and you're still doing the female raid, I would also recommend After Images here just to help get your shifter bar up, because it can be tricky without Apotheosis. But I just have Flash Up on because why not? I'm able to shift off start with Apotheosis, so I'm just running Flashed Up because it's funny. But again, Storm Charge could go there. We already have Tactician on, so. And Skill Tree is the same as before. You wanting to go right, left, left for the exact same reasons. And here we are, yet again, on the female raid with a different outfit, a different family. So I'm going to be switching over to a voiceover just because I feel like I have a lot more to talk about. And so I'll hand it over to Editor Stan to talk about some more. before update 4, I had a series where I tried out viewer builds in a video, whether to test them out or just give advice on how to improve it, and that's what I want to go back to doing. So if you have a build that you want me to try out on anything except Shiki, feel free to send it in, and I would love to make a video on all of your builds. And as I mentioned in the intro, we are doing a Colossal Serum giveaway. The requirements are to join the Discord, be subscribed, like this video, and leave a comment. If you don't know what to comment, feel free to just let me know what kind of build you're using. Maybe update 4 motivated you to try out ODM or pivot to Thunder Spears. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. More details towards the end of the video. And that was the female raid with this insane build done in 1:16. However, they were able to do an even better time than I was able to do, so please go check out their video. They even did it with Oddball, so absolutely crazy. Make sure to go check out their video to see how to play even more optimally with this build. And now, I wanted to talk about another Fritz build that isn't quite as good as the build that I just showed, but it's a little more fun. So if you're looking for a build that's a little off meta, that still does really well, let me show you something. So it only changes 2 things. One is the mimicry. I go with the Colossal Titan mimicry. At first when I saw this, I thought it was garbage, but honestly, it's actually pretty peak. And as for the artifact, I'm going with Scorched Cloak, just for the extra burn damage. Maybe Crystal Necklace is a little better, but feel free to check out this build and let me know which one you prefer between Scorched Cloak and Crystal Necklace. And while I showcase this build, I kind of wanted to talk about my channel for a second. Firstly, I want to apologize that this video has taken me 2 weeks to release. It's mainly because it took a while to find a good build, as well as maybe some burnout. Ever since Update 4 released, I've been grinding this game really hard. Obviously, getting back to max prestige level, grinding for the Colossal Serum, and trying to find other things to make content on. And so I was thinking of switching on and off between streaming AOTR by the week. So what I was thinking was 2 weeks of AOTR, and then 1 week of no AOTR, and then just kind of keep trying that and seeing how that goes, just so that everybody can get a little more variety. Because if I keep doing AOTR for hours and hours and hours, I'm going to get burnt out. The streams are going to be less high quality. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be a little more grumpier. And so I just want to try out a variety. But anyway, to talk about AOTR a little bit, I have been thinking about going back to my Noob to Pro series. Admittedly, the reason I haven't done it in a while is because I felt like I really milked it while waiting for Update 4. I just kept releasing nothing but Noob to Pro. But I think what I can do is grind back up to Aberrant and try to make a solo guide to getting Thunder Spears, because a question I get asked a lot is if I can help people get Thunder Spears. So I really want to try and show that it's possible to get them without anyone else's help. Feel free to let me know what you think about that in the comments. And that was the female raid with a slightly different build, a little less optimal, but it's equally as fun and honestly as effective. I think this build is still fun as it is good. I mean, the time doesn't really tell that just because you have to do some screaming, but I think this build's kind of fun, kind of silly. Just kind of wanted to showcase it, see what y'all thought about it. Maybe somebody can do something to improve it. I'm not really sure, but I just wanted to throw that build out into the wild and see what happened. Feel free to let me know what you think of this last build. And I think that's going to do it for this video. And just a reminder of the 5 Colossal Serum giveaway over on the Discord. Make sure to check the giveaway channel. It may not be available right as this video goes up. You may need to give me about 30 or 40 minutes after this video is posted. But anyway, just keep your eye on that channel. I will do a ping, so make sure to go to the roles channel to get your giveaway ping notification, and as well as some other roles. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.